We'll have their introduction, their general characteristics, and classification. Let's start with the characteristics. As I said, the name chordata suggests they are half chordates. So these animals are deuterostomic. So their body is mainly divided into three parts: the proboscis, collar, and the trunk. You see this anterior end, the cone-like structure. So they are called proboscis, and then this badged collar or ring-like structure. That ring-like structure attaches to the ends. Mouth is in and the gill slits, while the undigested food. And this way, we know that they do. Since the body is divided into three parts: the proboscis, collar, and the trunk, the body cavity or coelom is again divided into cavities. The one is the proboscis cavity, second is the animals have the pharyngeal slits which are lined with the hair structures here the water, the active movement of the animals. Then the nerve cord exists which is solid. Here you see the difference. If it was a true chordate, you these animals, because they are primitive ones, are still early at the early stage of the development, so their nerve cord has only shifted the position from ventral side of the body to the dorsal side. Remember, all the invertebrates have the nerve cord on the ventral side of the body. So in these animals, nerve cord is a dorsal on the dorsal location, which is the key characteristic of the cord. That is another reason that these simple invertebrate-looking animals are now considered the sister groups of the chordates. When these animals were originated, but with the time, when the further research on their anatomy was conducted, it was realized that the skeletal support or the half notochord, which was earlier considered as the homologous to the higher chordates notochord, is no longer considered as homologous. It is basically a stomochord. Right? We will explain this structure in next few slides. So basically stomochord is the part of the digestive system or the part of their stomach, and it's basically an extension into the collar region and towards the proboscis, which attaches these three parts together. So that is why this it was misunderstood earlier as a notochord, but still we consider it as an analog of the notochord. So in the lifestyle, these animals could be free living or sessile. So these type of the animals, these hemichordates, these are known as acorn worms. Acorn worms. These worms are basically free living. They burrow in the sand and live in the sand and in the shallow waters. The body has a bilateral symmetry, soft bodies, long, and they have the longitudinal and circular muscles in their body, especially in the form of that worm. They have longitudinal and circular muscles in their body. So these alternate movement of longitudinal and circular muscles basically create undulating movement or their locomotory methods to from one place to another place. In the nerve cord, there is a subepidermal nerve plexus. This is a collection of different neurons that thicken to form the dorsal and ventral nerve cords and with a ring connecting to the collar. Right? So if you see in this animal, there would be a nerve cord running all the way on the one side, the dorsal side. Then there would be a minor nerve cord on the ventral side, and these two nerve cords are connected together with a ring-like nerves in the collar region. So it makes a complete loop. Later on, some of the species of these acornworms or pterobranches, their nerve cord become hollow, right? So this is a true chordate feature. These proboscis, the front anterior end proboscis has a cilia and some chemotransmitters or chemoreceptors which sense the medium in which they are living. They feel the chemical composition of the water which they are taking in. So this is basically their sensory input devices as well. In the pterobranches, the leaf-like structures or branching structures, the animals live into the colonies, and those colonies are formed by the asexual reproduction by budding. So one animal breaks off and then forms another animal, and so on and so forth. However, in the acorn worms, the reproduction is asexual by fragmentation. What happens? The animal gets breaks off at the collar region, so the abdomen starts developing a new collar and a proboscis, whereas the other part starts developing a new abdomen. Respiration happens through the gill slits, and mostly they are filter feeders where the water enters into the mouth and exits through the gill slits, and the gaseous exchange between the blood vessels and the water happens by diffusion.